Yo. What's going on, chat room? Hello, everybody. We are back. Arm the Rebels Monthly.
Top 96 time. And it's just going to get more ridiculous. You're going to start seeing more and more names that you recognize going at it. Some of these top 96 round one matches are ridiculous already. We got Mena versus Mono. Spaceboy Joe Umerogan. That one's already happened. Joe Umerogan with a 2-0 win. Chris CCH and Lex.
A name you should recognize. I was wondering what's going on here. Isn't that UK Lex right there?
Yeah, I didn't realize he's gone back, but maybe he has. JB versus Chris T. Nephew versus Zaffarino. Brian D versus Ajax Fidelity. That one's going to be spicy. And Masoma against Shine. Many more. And of course, if you're in losers bracket already, then I feel bad for you because that is an absolute shark tank at the moment.
Yeah, well. I was scrolling through losers to try to pick out any like the big upsets in there. There's Shin in losers already. Vagabond, consistently performing really well at these events. Lots of big names in that losers bracket, and even bigger names in the winner side. But now we have Chris CCH going up against Lex, and yeah, Lex actually got third place in the UK World Warrior event, which was, I had no idea it was out in the UK. If you don't know Lex, he's actually JB's brother. He's been a long time Guile main in Street Fighter V, really strong with the character, and obviously good internationally as well. And if you don't know Chris CCH at this point, I think he's been under a Street Fighter rock.
Wow, hard read.
One of the qualifiers from Capcom Cup in Street Fighter V, has been doing big work in Street Fighter 6 as well. Won a couple TNSs, or I think a couple. Been doing lots of work in the tournament scene so far. That is such a strong tactic for people with invincible reversals. As soon as you see green, just reversal, right? If you have charge with style,
stop letting them free, giving them free frame advantage.
The slowest boom known to man, Chris CCH just holds up back and lands into it in the last second. Burnout, what you gonna do, man? Bad spot to be in.
Okay, nice buffer.
Good check from Lex.
Not biting.
Boom game. Chris had a pretty significant dry meter disadvantage right here. Lex just kind of backs off though, doesn't push the advantage. You know, you risk. You're greedy for that dry meter chip. You're going to eat a jump in as Guile, so it kind of picks his spot here. So a more
nice
position. Perfect parries galore. You got to do that to get in on Guile. Oh, backdash. He reads the throw attempt. That only beats meaty throw. You do get punish counters if you backdash. So if you jump from the meaty throw in the corner, you'll just get anti-air. But backdash does counter throw at the risk of losing to every combo. Doesn't go into the level 3.
Must have gone for a late throw as well, because he actually got punish countered by the jab.
Yeah, but for a lot of throws, meaty throws, you will get a punish counter on backdash. I don't know the full...
No, you're still like minus, I think, after that, right?
No, you'll get punish counters in this game. There might be a few super meaty throw setups, and depending on the character's backdash, but for a lot of interactions, you do get a guaranteed punish counter.
Okay.
But there might be some variation based on the backdash speeds. I don't have that fully mapped out in my head. But for sure, it's a good option against, especially not airtight throw.
It's a really hard read, and I respect anyone that goes for it.
Oh, yeah. It's worth it sometimes. Especially if people are walking up throwing you, it's worth it. Of course, there's people to do like jab, jab, jab meaties, which are already scaled. So, not a bad option to mix in there. Lex takes the first game. Oh, nice. Half-screen shimmy. Guile's walk speed, not bad, huh? Not bad. It's like, I'm surprised the amount of shimmies he gets in this game mid-screen. That wasn't even close, but just the movement options he has made Chris fight in that instance. Parry lockout, potentially, right there. It's tough. You parry one move, and then you're not ready for the DI after. Perfect from Lex.
Oh, damn, and Lex really showing that, like, from what I've seen of him playing when he was over here, like, it was very sporadic. Because some weeks he, like, wouldn't really get the results at all, and other weeks he, get third at World Warrior, like, take out some of our very best players. So he's got it in him. 100%.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's been that way in Street Fighter V as well. He had a few big upset results. Like one final round, he took out some international player from Asia. I can't recall exactly which one. I think like a Shanghai or something like that, right? Like a Calibro player that high.
Like a real world-class international player.
Yeah, he beat somebody. I can't recall exactly who it was, but he's caused upsets in the past of that caliber. So he's definitely been of the tier to cause those upsets. It's just he hasn't had quite the same consistency as other Guile players. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in a big one.
Blows through the OD. Works both ways.
Right, we saw it in the first round from Lex. Same thing right there from Chris CCH. If you have an invincible reversal, that is part of the meta. Like, you need to be seeing green and then into the EX reversal. Because
there is a counter to that. Obviously, you can drive impact, but that's the hardest read ever, man. Like, so fair play to you if you do drive rush cancel into a drive impact. Like, you've earned that. Congratulations.
Right, and if it's raw and neutral, if you're early enough, it's guaranteed, right? So it's more situational. So yeah, it's definitely something you should add to your gameplay. You can stop some nutty gameplay just by reacting to green with your EX reversal. Level 3 conversion, not going to burn out. Going to have a sliver of drive meter left here. What's it going to do with it? No. Perfect. Of course, that's what he does with it. Amare, Lex has been, he's been waking up successfully with buttons multiple times in clutch situations. Like, he might win this tournament match off that. Oh, as I say it, he does. Finding that space for the wake-up button pushes Chris CCH out, forces him to approach once more with the charge, level 3 anti-air on reaction.
Yeah. I mean, having the awareness to have that ready and to get that out as well. You know, Ken can show you so many different looks at that range. Really impressive that he was ready with just the raw level 3 as an
And I know all Chris CCH is thinking is, should have went JP. He has. Chris CCH,
definitely.
For all of the complaining that the Ken players have done about JP, I respect Chris CCH the most because 1, he's funny about it. 2, he actually picks JP and does some work with it. He's counterpicked Nuckledu a couple times with JP to some success and some losses, right? So, but he's gotten W's over Nuckledu himself with JP. So I'm kind of surprised to see him not go for that matchup. Maybe he's just confident in his Ken over Lex.
Yeah, because Lex doesn't have any secondaries that I'm aware of. Like, he's all in on Guile, and that's a big hole in the matchup spread for Guile. How do you feel about that? Like, do you think it's as bad as it's made out to be?
I hope it is. I lost to Nuckledu last week. I got double Guiled actually in TNS. I got third. I lost to Nuckledu and Brian.
The worst time for me to ask you.
No, the thing is, I understand why people say it's a really bad matchup. I just need to practice it in that way. So I'm trying to understand. Like, I'm not at the point where I'm like, no, you guys are absolutely wrong. I think you still have to practice it because clearly I didn't win without practice. I beat Nuckledu once the week before. He got me this time pretty good. So I think, I mean, the argument is that he stops Guile from doing the full screen zoning, which he absolutely does, right? But there's still a pocket where he's up closer where the sonic boom pressure is perfectly spaced, and it stops all of JP's spike options because it's just faster. Like, once you block one boom, you don't have time to get the spike out. I think that can be nullified by better perfect parry timing. So I think, to me, that's my own reflection of my gameplay. If I had perfect parries, I think I might have been able to stop that.
I was watching because Kyungster just won the World Warrior in France as well earlier today using JP. He was using like EX Ghost quite a fair bit at that range.
Right.
So it's just blowing straight through the enhanced.
They jump. I got red on that. So I think they have the reads. I think it does force Guile to make some reads, which I think is where when Guile players go, I have to read? You know? That's how I feel as JP.
I never learned to read. Yeah.
I have to read what my opponent's going to do? That's a bad matchup. Mena RD Mono PR Classic.
This is like a major top 8 match that we're getting top 96 round
qualification. 1. Literally. They've had to play each other to get into the Capcom Cup for years now. With the way the online was structured. It's actually, this is really literally a qualification match in the Capcom Cup.
Both these guys are CEO champs as well.
That is very true. I didn't think about that. You know, Mono, he won one of the, I think one of the first returns to offline.
It was the first one back,
over Punk. And then Mena winning the largest, before EVO, the largest offline bracket, largest bracket for Street Fighter 6 up till that point. And then, you know, the rest, kind of good, this guy, huh?
Yeah, he's won a few things.
Level 3, what does he have here? Low forward drive rush. Amare on the shimmy attempt. Keeps himself alive in the corner. Does Mono. Oh, perfect parry. I love the side swap attempt.
And that's another annoying thing, right? The height at which you get those perfect parries. It's kind of similar to the situation you said earlier with the juggles.
Right.
that we saw dropped as well. I've seen a lot of people like perfect parry jump-ins and just not get the timing just right. They might catch airborne when they wanted a grounded punish.
Right,
Just be off on some things.
I don't see throw whipped in that situation too often. I wonder if throw would have been just the safer thing, back throw into the corner. It looked like he wanted to get something more optimal with the side swap conversion to set up some more better Oki than back throw.
Yeah, he still does mad damage even off a perfect parry anyway.
Right.
Character does obnoxious damage. Looking for something on wake up. Mena backs off. Crosses him up.
You know, we talk about Phenom being one of the best jump-in players in the game. I think Mena is the best cross-up jumper in the game. The number of times I see Mena overload what the opponent is looking for on the ground and sneak a cross-up or like a really sharp angle jump-in that will make your normal anti-air whiff and then landing a successful jump has been obscene. So, you know, Mono there went for the autopilot. I don't know if that's back medium kick from DJ the button, but it just doesn't cover that range, right? He'd have to
the
jump.
back roundhouse that goes straight up.
Right. Just completely stuffed it. It's a signature hallmark of Mena's, you know, oppressive style right there. Burnout here, though. Can Mono make a comeback?
Yeah, he's so good at forcing his way inside that kind of range and then just putting the fear of God into. Oh, nice check on the drive rush. And he went into the back roundhouse afterwards as well. Like, super on point. Not just the awareness to check the drive rush, which we already spoke about how difficult it is to do against DJ, but also go straight into the optimal combo as well. Like, he's in a flow state at the moment. Mena looking super impressive.
That's not just like young man reactions or pure reaction time. That's just understanding that I have this life lead. DJ is half screen away from me. What is he going to do right here to make a comeback? He's going to drive rush at me, right? Like he understood how to read that situation and be prepared with the exact counter with the optimal punish, right? It's not raw stimulus reaction. I see green, press this button. No, he knew what to look for in that instance.
Yeah, it's like you know, in poker you say like you need to know what the outs are, right? And that was definitely the main out for DJ to be able to bring that back, drive rushing in at that range. He's either looking for the raw drive rush, he's looking for the OD air slash with the drive rush behind it, and he was ready with the optimal conversion as well, which he didn't even need because he was super dead.
Sometimes you want to practice your optimal conversion. That's something I think about actually. You know, for a long time, my philosophy was always go for the optimal combo because that is how you prepare yourself to be optimal in situations when you need it. But recently, I've come to more accept being optimal is doing only what is minimally necessary, because with less risk, you're more likely to win in that situation. So I used to always go for optimal combos and, you know, risk dropping it even when something simpler would also give the guaranteed win. And I think now being more optimal is about the decision to choose to be less optimal. That's something I've been
whatever gets you the kill, bro.
With.
Exactly. Whatever gets you the kill.
So I respect the sometimes the simple ABC, which gets the job done. That is the optimal choice. But that said, speaking of being optimal, iDom making not the optimal pick, still on the Menon. As much as he gripes about this character, still playing. I think he's just.
There's a few characters in this game that I think that there will be more layers of development and they will start to rise up the tier list. I don't see that happening for Menon. I just think the way that her win condition is built is just not rewarding within the mechanics of Street Fighter 6, just as they are.
I don't think she's a terrible character at all. I don't think any character.
I don't think there's any terrible characters.
Yeah, it's just I do feel like for a player of iDom's caliber, it's not the optimal pick.
Yeah, I mean, you play against characters that have got real reversals. She hasn't got any like Oki mix up. Realistically, like the drive rush is you just see the green and react to it. Like having to grab to get this big damage in is such a huge risk in this game with some of the damage output that some of these characters can do.
That said, we still do see tournament success here and there with her, right? There's been Random in the EU doing really well, and then like the Germany World Warriors, and iDom himself does pretty good in the weeklies and stuff. So it's
and he doesn't care, bro. Like he will go for the command grab. He's literally here just to play to get to that 5th medal. So
and his footsies in neutral are still on point. He hasn't lost any of that from Street Fighter 5 at all. Definitely still one of the most dangerous.
Oh, sorry, I meant Random. Like iDom obviously is a different
fish. Of course. Speaking of Coach Steve, though, super strong Blanca, been a long time Blanca main. You know, he also plays a lot for the versus fighting, but he recently, I think, beat Mena with Blanca at the World War. Was it Mena or Punk? I'm forgetting which one, but he took out one of the 2 heavy hitters, put him in losers in one of the World Warrior events recently. So that was a big surprise upset. But he's of that caliber, right? He's been playing Blanca for a long time.
Yeah, he loves.
So he can make these wins happen.
And I think, again, Blanca's another character that's got such a complete toolbox. He's got so many ridiculous normals.
He has this thing, too. Okay, iDom avoids it, just gets onto the other side of the Blanca.
And he's got that thing.
But, man, Blanca-chan, when he gets the optimal setup to pull that out and get the mixes with it and the assistance, the level of mix-up potential and damage potential he gets is obscene. I love that walk-up throw. That was
so beautiful. The thing that I like about Blanca is he's got like 4 layers of really solid offensive options. Like, he's got really good normals. He can play that game. He's got the Blanca ball mix-up, which is very solid as well. Like, he can bait you pretty badly for that. Then he's got the level 2, which is one of the best level 2s in the game without
doesn't react
fail.
to DI though.
And then on top of that,
one of
he's
the
got
best
the
level
plushie
2s.
as well. He's got the plushie as well, which is...
And his anti-air game, the fact that he combos off stand heavy kick on counter hit to like a decent conversion is so strong.
I've never
Level 2.
before seen a move that has that many active frames and that little startup. It's crazy.
Or his stand medium kick or back medium kick, I forget which one it is. It's 6 active frames and lets you cancel like 2 frames after into the recovery. I was lapping that move. I could not believe it had 6 active frames and you can late cancel
The
it.
back medium kick's the +2 one, I think, right?
Yes. But it also has 6 active frames.
Yeah. His crouch medium punch, I think, has got like 5. It's crazy. Like, his
the frame data
so blessed.
They're very, I don't think people realize how underrated they are. When you really go into training mode and look at the properties, I was super shocked. That move right there, so strong. Definitely a real character in this version. My favorite version of Blanca ever. I have never liked this character.
Amazing.
I really like him in this game.
Amazing. There's a few characters that I feel like are wasted slots, and I really felt Blanca was a wasted slot when I saw they announced him. But this design is amazing.
I agree. He's definitely the best returning character. I think the most refreshed of the most polarizing ones, Honda, Sim, and Blanca. I think Blanca is the most like refreshing new design by far. But you know, I'm doing this thing here. Blanca-chan gets the plus frames. iDom's neutral is still ever so strong. I mean, I've been playing some sets with him, and you feel the pressure. We say this character's not that good, but still, she has some decent normals. Just her conversions off them aren't great, and a lot of them are not like cancelable.
Yeah,
but iDom
think
makes
she's
magic happen.
I think she's just playing a different game to everyone else, but she's not terrible. Like, as you said, no character's terrible.
Right.
Get got by everybody.
Look at the damage. Oh, look at. So. Like, having a surprise burst option like that to cash out resources, and I believe he gets level 1 as well if he had it there. Like, it's just so good to have those kind of options in this kind of a game.
It's got options to catch you unawares as well.
Excellent, perfect parry. Escapes the command grab mix. iDom will also DI the Blanca ball. He does react. Like, you know, he might not always choose to.
Oh, is Menon's DI one of the ones that reaches?
Yes,
I imagine
absolutely.
it's like super far. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Yes, he doesn't convert. Maybe the height was off. Normally he gets a juggle until level 2 or level 3 there. Something was off of that conversion. I couldn't tell. Burnout. If he can set up this Blanca-chan, he can turn this around. That's going to be safe. Absolutely safe with the Blanca-chan. He gets pressure after.
Saves him and he gets the DI.
Counter. Oh, the Blanca-chan ties it all
of
together.
this mix as well. Overhead opens him up. He's got 1. Goes to the 1, he puts the Blanca-chan down instead.
Oh, it was a punish counter. He couldn't block that, I suppose. Oh, man, that was... What? This is too tense. Oh, that was a bad spot to be in at that point. Good recovery from iDom there. Coach Steve almost making miracles happen with the Blanca-chan, almost all aligning right there. But he was too low in life. At that point, he wasn't going to be able to counter DI, and yeah, it's just the lack of resources made it tough. Too many ways for iDom to push the advantage at that moment. But Good attempt, Coach Steve.
Wasn't really able to do much with the Blanca-chan into the mix. Like he wanted to obviously get the meaty into the activation afterwards because he didn't go for the damage off that juggle. Just went straight into putting the plushie down. I'm not sure if that's one of the setups that he's actually plus after, because I know he gets it after that, the launcher.
Right.
Then the plushie comes out and he's plus. Don't know if it is after the EX Rainbow Ball.
Yeah, he did the final one. He did the up back EX Blanca Ball in, and iDom went for drive reversal, and it said punish counter. I was surprised that landed. I don't know if that's actually guaranteed on the EX Blanca Ball or if he pressed something there. So that's something I'm gonna lab after this. So if that's, I wonder if that was supposed to be drive reversal safe and Coach Steve pressed the button. I didn't really. It must not have been, because then it would have been counter hit. So it must have just. Does drive reversal beat up back the EX Blanca Ball clean?
I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't have thought it would have done, because it recovers so quick when it lands, right?
And it's plus. So generally moves that are plus tend to not be, for the most part, tend to be safe to drive reversal.
Yeah, that's only got 10 frames of recovery, so I've got no idea what the hell he tried to do there.
Coach Steve says he pressed. The only reason I was... Okay, what's up, Coach Steve? Yeah. So the drive reversal was successful. The only reason I was confused about that, Coach Steve, is because it said punish counter. So I would assume it would say counter hit, but I'm guessing that's supposed to be a set of safe to drive reversal. So that was a risky drive reversal. The moon and the stars would have aligned if he had blocked the drive reversal, if that's the case, right? That's exactly what you're looking for. This
character has so many options. Like, there's a lot to learn about Blanca's offense. Like I said, like there's 4 distinct layers of that offense that they can step into at any time. And like the plushie setups and the level 2 mix-ups, I'm not entirely au fait with yet. What's safe, what isn't, what's guaranteed plushie setups. I only know a couple of them. But the character's got huge amounts of depth, man. Like you look at the character design in this game, and there's so many deep characters that have a lot to explore in. I hope that we see more representation for Blanca, because he's so fun.
Yeah, he's still under the radar enough where he's still obscure, but strong enough to definitely be a tournament threat. So that's right now, Blanca players are like, yeah, it's for us to know and for you to get hit by a tournament.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
For the time being, we'll just have to suffer until we finally dissect it. But that said, interesting matchup here. Punk the God versus Noah the Prodigy. Noah was the original, like young kid on the block in the MBC 3 days, getting like top 96 or something, or top 32.
Literally a kid as well.
As an 8-year-old kid. And he's been on the come up so much with Street Fighter V. He was #1 ranked in the world at one point in LP before they added the MR system. Been doing really well in all the tournaments recently. And Punk, amazing read. What's he going to get here? Does he get anything? Level 1. He's going to recover from burnout. Noah is the best player in the world in burnout. I do not care. He loves putting himself in burnout because his level 1 reactions are obscene. Punk levels, right? Punk is known for his reactions.
I am the modern control, yeah?
Speaking of...
Knuckle straight through the sandblaster. That's easy.
Is that an on-reaction option right there? I wonder if that's something you can consistently do on reaction. I'm not sure about the frame data right there for both characters, so that was a really clutch spin knuckle from Punk. Reaction, yes. If you can do that consistently on reaction, that is super strong for Kaaba to have in the matchup. Pressure. Let him back off. Cage him. What are you going to do? Anti-air. Gets the guaranteed pressure from the drive. Rush cancel, but Noah attacks appropriately. First fireball in a while. And Punk
so mathematically, it looks like it is possible, but I don't know whether it's practically possible. It might be one of those things where you're looking for it and it's doable. But Punk is not a normal man. He does.
That's also true. Wait a minute. This might not be a normal
punish. Is he going to get to level 3? He should. Oh my god, and he waited that out. That was godlike. That's going to be a huge win for him as well. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't have to spend any super bar on that at all. That worked out better than it could have hoped for Noah.
Yeah, that was like a extremely unfortunate into an extremely fortunate turn of events right there. Like just not building that level 3, that pixel meter, which would have put him in burnout, but instead paints the reversal. It keeps all his meter for the final round here. Punish counter throw. That's huge. This drive meter situation is not good. Gets clipped. This is a bad spot. But Noah finds the button to burst out. Level 3.
That's strong. That win button into level 3.
I mean, the damage is huge, but it's also the drive meter, right? Like
the burnout recovery. Yeah.
Oh, he just
my God, blesses the top, but he doesn't follow up. You're right. You said it before. Not expecting the jump in to hit.
Who expects that? Oh my God, amazing jump back jab. Oh, this is the match.
They're swinging it out.
Luke's jump fierce punch is one of the best both his jump roundhouse and jump fierce punch are two of the best jumping moves in the game, and it just hits so low, and it's also at an angle where you almost expect him to float over and cross up.
Anywhere near it at all.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Punk was thinking he could just walk underneath the jump in and like block the cross up, one of those situations, but it just hits so early, and then Noah wasn't even ready to convert. In Burnout, like I said, he's not
especially
scared.
with Cammy's walk speed as well, right? Like, you probably get a punish counter on the landing.
Noah will spend all resources to get any kind of offensive momentum because he just believes in his offense, and he also believes in his reactions. Like, he's the scariest player in the game to fight when he's in Burnout. Big whiff. Punk finds the whiff punish.
Wow, delayed crouch medium punch. Stops the walk back shimmy attempt there from Punk, who's now in Burnout himself, but checks the drive rush, pushes him towards the corner.
Checks from Punk. The guy knows how to place in neutral. He knows how to stop your sporadic and surprise approaches. He is looking for it, and he reacts consistently. For years.
Perfect parry on the flash knuckle.
How does Noah fight out of this one? Oh, and that traded with a forced knockdown and pushed her to half screen away. That was so fortunate. Amazing anti-air in the neutral jump. Big jump fierce again.
That time punish counter, so it caught Punk swinging.
That is one of the scariest situations in the game when Luke drive rushes and neutral jumps in your
Spends
grill.
an extra bar. Huge life lead here. Punk forced to go with a reversal at the corner. And gets the jump in of his own. He dropped the combo.
Counter DI. We're taking this to match point for Noah. His moves are obscene. He is ready for these situations. That's why I say he doesn't care to put himself on Burnout, because we haven't seen it yet, but he'll level 1. Like, he's just ready for these things. He's ready for DI. He's ready to level 1. And now he finds himself on match point against Punk, up 1-0.
Looking back.
Cannot DI that. That's a DI bait, right? That's a huge part of Luke's game plan once he has level 3. And Burnout, yep, here he goes. This is his power-up for Noah.
Okay, magnetic pressure now. Oh, and he presses a button challenging Noah. He's not playing scared in Burnout at all.
Oh my God, he had to perfect parry that projectile to keep his drive mirror. If he did not land the perfect
he's
parry on
pixels
that,
away from the wall for the splat. He's gonna whiff. Oh, 9 frames, bro. That shit is fast, and that goes hella far. Punk saves the set point.
Oh, yeah, the level 3 definitely wasn't going to whip. It's happening so fast, I was already behind on the knuckle. Yeah, that Cammy level 3 goes full screen. I've learned that the hard way with just trying to spam with JP, and suddenly
there's like 1 frame of travel time as well. It's not like
Right.
Street Fighter 5 when you had to worry about it actually going across.
Oh yeah, definitely not like Street Fighter 5.
Shit's
where
like
you can
instant
randomly whip.
transmission.
Wow.
All right.
You know, Noah really put Punk on notice right there. That was almost a big upset. Not even a big, like, of all the players in the bracket, Noah's one of the people who I could say can make an upset like this happen. Any victory over Punk's an upset, of course, but Noah is that caliber of player where you can see the potential for that to happen.
Wow. I'm really impressed by Noah's like active defense as well. He's refusing to get throw baited. Well, he's done delayed crouch and medium punch like 3 times in a row on defense, and like he was due a reversal.
I wonder if Punk is going to attempt the DI. No, like I'm telling you, it's so hard to get the DI stun on. I'm telling you, what did I say? This kid reacts every single time. No modern controls, uses an arcade stick, the old-fashioned way. He's just
puts his shoulder into it.
He's been playing, he might be younger than everybody in this bracket, but he's been playing fighting games for longer than most people, right? His brain has been wired since a young age to input those double quarter circles.
It wasn't even remotely fully developed. It's not even fully developed now.
My God. The low forward connects. Match point again.
That is not 19-year-old reaction, sir. That is 11 years of fighting game experience reaction.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, he's kind of guessing parry out there. I think he's looking for another roundhouse. Yeah. The parry, when you see them whiff blue, it's interesting to think about what they're thinking of.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him whiff that in neutral a couple of times. He's just walking into range and then just tapping the parry.
Yeah, you're right about his active defense. The places he's pressing that crouching strong to interrupt Punk from playing his... Punk likes to dance in your range, right? If you have the confidence to press buttons when he's dancing your girl, you might find yourself in a situation like this, where you're on match point against Punk, one hit away. Oh, but he doesn't...
What? They get the CA!
Oh my god, he goes for the fully charged heavy knuckle, whiffs it, and mashes level 3. Punk is late on the most important whiff punish of the set and eats the level 3. And losers. 2-1. Noah the Prodigy over Punk. I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. But that's what Noah does. I've been playing him a lot since Street Fighter 6 was released, and I played it 1st to 10 with him when the game first came out, and every interaction I had with him, I was like, I can't believe he did that. And then you get an understanding of that style for a while, but you are scared the entire time, no matter how much of a life lead you have. If he's in burnout, to me, I think he's powered up when he's in burnout. And then the fact that he's willing to go for those sorts of things in that situation just shows that you just can't be comfy. You have to be scared the entire time.
I just wanted to check. I just wanted to put Punk's stream on real quick to see what he said after that happened. But he seems in good spirits.
Oh, come on. You can't be stream sniping for the salt right now. Come on now.
No, he's in good spirits. Shout out to Punk.
I heard the 200-bit donation thank you over the mic right there. That could have been dangerous. We could have heard something else.
Oh, wow.
Punk will somehow make it back to grand finals, says the chat. Honestly, yeah, Punk has done that a billion times. Gone to losers early in a big tournament and made it all the way back through grand finals. He does it so often. So good luck, everybody in losers.
It's definitely no extra ask for him to just be consistent, because he's been consistent for the longest time. One of the most consistent Street Fighter players in history, I think.
Yeah, even when he was still like proving himself in Street Fighter V, like early on in that 2017 season when he won everything. Yeah. I think one of the first big premieres he won was NCR, I believe it was. That's early in the season. And he went to losers to Ted, SoCal player, I believe. No respect. And he went to losers real early and then ran it back all the way from pools to win the whole premiere, teabagging and taunting along the way and establishing his style. So he's done that since the beginning of his career, dominating the scene. So yeah, good luck losers bracket, and good luck to Noah. That was amazing.
All right, let's see who we've got coming up next.
It's like iDom going up against Flux Waves. Ooh, Flux Waves.
Okay.
iDom, obviously not a fan of the JP matchup. However, I played with him a lot in this matchup, and he's had a lot more experience in it. Flux Waves, definitely extremely strong in Street Fighter 6, knows how to manipulate JP to do his bidding very effectively. So I can see this going either way, but iDom, I think character matchup wise, his favors JP, but iDom, he knows the matchup these days. Like, he's not going to be caught necessarily off guard. He's worked to check the drive rushes. That's been a huge complaint of his about how the game operates, but he's gotten really good at it. And through all the complaining, right? I think sometimes when you focus on your complaints, you tend to hone in and figure out how to stop it. And I think iDom's done that very successfully so far.
I think the interesting thing is as well, like, you're going to have all of the JP experience in the world. You play online, you play in tournaments. There's going to be JPs all over the place. There's not going to be a huge amount of Manon experience, especially to the level at which iDom plays. So I can see that working in his favor in a lot of instances. Maybe not enough to get him the big wins, because there's a lot of uphill matches that he'd need to win, but very, very dangerous. Like, regardless of the character choice, iDom's always going to be dangerous. But I think just having the ability to learn this matchup to the level at which iDom can play it is going to be very hard.
Good awareness on that spin, the block spin kick to get the jab.
Yeah, the punish.
Drive rush, punish. Manon has a lot of these options, right? They're negative, but they're spaced out. So they're spacey traps, right? Like, do you have a punish? Are you ready for it? Do you know what you can press after? She's definitely a character that has a lot of those options. Everything is negative, right? Everything she has in her kit is negative, but left at a space where she kind of has those lanky limbs to catch you trying to take your turn back. Oh, big drive, big command grab and jump back. We talked about that jump medium punch. You pick up the combo from that.
Came down with a drive rush, followed up. There's a really nice interruption though from iDom with a standing medium punch in that fake string. Was able to get something started, but the command grab was what came after it.
Menon's overhead is actually one of her best footsie tools. I mean, that's the thing about Menon is I think she has great range and great ways to harass you, but the problem is they all lose
the reward
DI.
is whack as well.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, she gets counter hit confirms to a knockdown, so I think the reward is okay. It's not amazing, it's okay, but she risks DI, right? That's the part about her kid.
Oh my god! Just out of range.
Yeah, he might have been able to wait a little while on the actual...
And let the drive rush go a little bit further, do you reckon?
Let a safe jump? Oh my god, that hit behind the head? I have never seen that interaction in that way. Yeah, it's burnout no matter what he's like. Oh,
yeah.
Nope, he didn't have a string, actually.
It's not burnout when you get hit, but
wow.
get hit again.
I love that idea. He just did Fierce Punch straight into the heavy swipe. That is the one thing that will give you like something you can DI through. But either you commit to the DI right there or you're in burnout, right? So Flux Waves knows how to push the advantage. Say, are you really going to risk your life right here or beat the burnout or try to jump away from burnout and die? So really smart play there from Flux Waves to close out that first game. Oh, baited. What do you got? Ah, see?
Nothing. Oh, there you go.
Not a great punish. And she kind of has to sacrifice damage to get the medals and things like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. iDom has better punishes than that. I just don't think he was prepared in that moment.
Just generally as well, like the punishes for you trying to jump out of a lot of her Oki are really poor. You're talking like 1900, 2000 damage, whereas she's fishing for 3000 plus on the command grab.
But let's talk about her strengths right there. Oh, never mind, weakness.
There we go.
Her weakness is her
But
auto
she had
time
one
EDs
weakness. Yes.
are DIable, right? So you can take the hard read on the DI. He's going to put her in burnout, pick up. Oh, he dropped the pickup. Normally you get towards heavy kick to another DI, but still in a great meter position. iDom's on the back foot here, fighting the zoning and fighting being put into burnout. Out of range?
Nothing.
Yeah, but she's in that level 4, right? That's the one thing I was saying. She has an advantage here. But, oh, baited the spin with the empty feint, gets the conversion.
And
that's
that
fine.
was checkmate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay, but still that level 4. That is, she's definitely dangerous in this position, right? Like her neutral, maybe not the best.
I think when she's
risk
got level
reward,
3,
here you go.
like it's a big deal because either way she's going to cash out into a huge amount of damage. But that jump back medium punch is just such a great answer.
Huge jump in read.
Ghosts.
You're one guess away. This is guess for game. This is guess for game also. All those interactions, every one of those buttons in there was a guess for game. So Flux Waves holds on. It says you must command grab to win. This is what every JP is looking for. That portal activation to get the full screen zoning and a huge combo. Excellent poke. iDom knows how to sneak in that stand medium punch. Get the drive rush approach. If she's meter like healthy, she's actually very scary with high metal system because she will just that's what she goes to, right? Stand medium, drive rush cancel. That's suddenly when she's very scary. If it hits, she gets a damaging combo knockdown. If it's blocked, you're in a mix for a ton of damage.
Wow. Looking for the EX Ghost again for that jump, but it was Shard this time.
Oh, shimmied on that. Wasn't fully ready for iDom to bite on that, so he only gets the fireball. Yeah, iDom likes to parry the first hit, then jump away. I think Flux Waves went for the air throw, so that's what I do against iDom in that situation. It looks very funny. You just throw her right out of the bomb in the jump, but the bomb exploded. iDom fighting in neutral. Harassing.
Punish.
Yep, burnout. That's all I wanted. Menon has you in burnout. Very good, actually. One of the best characters to put you in burnout.
Jeez! Yeah, that standing medium punch becomes obnoxious. Oh, bruv, don't put me off. Just keep going.
No, there is such a mind game, too, when you're in burnout. Like, you spend the level 1 to avoid guaranteed death one time, but are you in a position to turn that around and escape and then actually recover from it, or are you just wasting more resources? Because sometimes when people try to level 1 me, I'm like, thank you. Keep spending super to stay alive, and you're still going to die anyway, so... JP's level 1 doesn't really give the best knockdown. That's like, I'm not trying to downplay or anything here, but you're kind of in that same position.
No, of course.
Right?
You're getting just sent back, yeah.
Right. So when he level 1's out, if you can maintain corner, you can kill him anyways.
Nice.
What was iDom cooking? What was Flux Waves cooking? Huge drop
behind it.
Oh,
no.
He autopiloted the cancel. Wait, that was Flux Waves round guaranteed. Now he's on the verge of losing. When did he go to super? He wasn't ready. And this is definitely GG with no drop from iDom.
So much harder to react to a raw drive impact like on wake up than it is after a string, I think. I see so many people get hit by meaty drive impact.
That was just, that was Flux Waves' round. I don't know what happened with that combo conversion. It just completely went downhill from there. It didn't have the meter to, last and avoid burnout. And yeah, meaty drive impact is what? Is it 26 frames, 28 frames? It's gnarly.
I think 28, yeah. 28.
Yeah, so
and you're just
like
not looking for it. Yeah, like you're looking for it in the strings. Like you're always looking for it in the middle of the strings. On wake up, I think your brain just checks out by maybe like 10 frames, and then your reaction time just too slow to get to it. But,
I think when that started to become apparent to me was watching CEO. The number of meaty drive impacts I saw being landed by so many players. It was a lot of like the players I wasn't too familiar with too. Like what was it, Zeke? If I remember correctly, the jury. Using so many meaty drive impacts. There was another, like this NRS player who was playing Luke. I forget his name. Forgive me. He was doing a bunch of meaty drive impacts and Mena as well. And I was like, wow, like the meta, like a meaty drive impact. It had never really occurred to me how powerful that was. It's one of those things where at first you think, okay, we'll just get better reacting to it, right? And then you really go through and you're like, wait a minute, like it actually is that powerful.
Yeah,
but I like the mechanic. I think DI. Some people are still complaining about DI in this day and age. I think DI keeps the game moving at a more exciting pace and punishes you for playing too passively. And it's still risky enough so that if you land the DI, to me it feels earned, and if you counter the DI, you feel amazing too. So I think my mechanic is
favorite thing in the game is when people get hungry for the kill and they go for the DI when it's not in burnout, and the defender reacts to it, and then they lose. That's the most beautiful karmic justice. It makes me feel like the game is perfectly designed, and then you see situations like that where you react with a level 1, immediate drive impact straight away again, or drive impact meaty on wake up. You're just caught in the headlights. And I think it really illustrates that this game is, and fighting games in general, are not really about just true raw reactions. It's not about seeing the green light on the screen and pressing spacebar for the reactions test like you're trying to join NASA. It's about your mental stack and the things that you're looking for. Because I see people like blocking jump-ins all the time.
Right. And the jump-in is nearly a full second of reaction time. If your reactions were that bad, you would have been, I don't know, hit by a car by this point. You know what I mean? Like something in your life, you would have had some kind of severe, like it would be a medical issue where it would cascade to other parts of your life where you would be having issues, right?
Yeah.
Like the average human reacts in a very similar small window of reaction time. We're mostly the same when it comes to raw reaction.
It doesn't really change when you get older either, by the way. Like that's a fallacy as well, especially in fighting games. It's not the main thing. Yeah, like you don't have as much time. I don't know what every single character in the game's obvious situations are. To look for them, and that's what happens. That's generally what gets you more so than anything. And the travel. I think the travel gets you as you start to get older as well.
That's what.
But yeah, so definitely an interesting,
wonderful online brackets, right?
Yes.
Like Arm the Rebels from Shopify Rebellion. 10 tournament series every month. People competing for points in the top 8. The top 16 players will go out to final events to compete for 5K in prizing and a full trip to EVO. So shout outs again to Shopify Rebellion for putting on this tournament series. Really supporting Nuckledu, sponsoring him, and also supporting the community, putting on this event. The most stacked bracket, I think. I will claim that to be true until someone counters my claim. I think this is the most stacked NA bracket we've had so far. And we have more hype matches coming up
that's
next.
right. We got Joe Umerogan up against Kaaba. Winner of this will go and face Lex in top 16. Mena RD and iDom is a top 16 match.
What?
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about this tournament.
Street Fighter 6, baby. I mean, it's not just this bracket that has this many killers. It's the fact that the community is putting in the work and that, people from all eras of Street Fighter are coming back to play. You know, there's like Shen from the Street Fighter 4 Third Strike era. There's all the killers from Street Fighter 4 returning, and the returning Street Fighter 5 players who maybe fizzled out after a couple years, who took a little hiatus. Everyone's just giving it their all right now. And then all the new players that are bursting onto the scene and doing work. Players like Noah the Prodigy, who have been... Noah the Prodigy's level up is wild to me, because I played him in Street Fighter 5, and he was strong in Street Fighter 5 and had that wild card aspect to him playing Mika, but he's taken it to the next level in this game. He's improved so much, and he's a huge threat now, putting Punk in losers. Complex 90, I see still in the bracket, 16 years old, doing work, cleaning up a losers bracket. So yeah, tons of players, tons of competition. Just really
this
exciting.
Losers bracket is not a friendly place right now. I'm just looking at it right now. Chris T sent to losers by Naji. Yeah,
Naji. Got 33rd at Evo. Super strong jury players, been doing a lot of work. Wow, Chris T and losers. This is Naji. But here we have Kaaba versus Joe Umerogan. Kaaba was a staple in these online brackets for the first couple of months of Street Fighter 6. I think he's like taken a little bit of a break from doing as many online tournaments, but the beta or the first couple of months of this game, oh my god, Kaaba was...
Yeah, he was terrorizing. The three DR players, him, Mena, and Brian D. Brian D is in his bracket as well. All absolutely tearing up those East Coast tournaments.
And Joe Umerogan as well has been doing a lot of work with that meaty DI right there, represented that like frame perfect setup. Drop the combo. Okay, shimmy. But Joe as well, you know, he qualified for Capcom Cup out of his I forget if it's Canada East qualifier. I think it is, if I remember correctly. And so he's been doing work for a long time in Street Fighter 5 on the come up for a while. He used to rock that Akuma in Street Fighter 5, switched to Luke, and kept improving from there. And he's also been a frequent top 8 finisher in these big online brackets. So definitely a huge threat. Gets the level 3. This is such a strong position.
Yeah, still contains the corner. Gets the drive gauge parity as well, and a huge life lead, but that CA is there, and we know that Kaaba can confirm that pretty easily. Very reliably. Oh, looking for it there.
They are like pixels away from touching each other. They're grazing the hair follicles on their face right there with each one of these pokes, but
medium kick
Joe just
gets the job
lands
done.
a few more. Yeah. Ooh. That Fierce Punch from Guile is spooky. I don't know. Just there's so much power loaded behind that. You don't know what that's going to cancel into, what that's going to turn into.
Joe taking the first game though.
We have been on the left side of the screen the entire time until this moment.
Yeah. I'm still there now.
Oh, no!
The jump angle. Shades of Mena with the jump angle there.
Kaaba's trying to wait to the last possible frame to get that flash kick. I don't know if he had any more time in the tank left to wait to make it turn around, or if the angle was just long.
Could have done the walking flash kick.
Potentially, that Akainu represented, he potentially could have held forward for a few frames to get under. But yeah, that was a really tough spot.
Yeah, it was a beautiful jump angle, I have to say.
There's an art to jumping, man. It really is. I do not understand it at all. But when I see a good jumper, I'm like, man, I get it. Like, I see what you're putting down. Some people see a jump and be like, oh, that was random. But no,
you never really played a character that wants to jump. Like, you started off with one that definitely didn't really want to jump, right?
Yeah, I played ball out for 10 years. So
yeah, like what?
It's like, what are you guys doing in the air? What's going on here? I'm just a giant meatball when I float over your head. Like, it's just a huge hitbox.
JP not needing to jump, you just teleport in, it's fine.
Oh no, I hold up more with JP. That's more of a my hitbox is too good and you're gonna mess up eventually kind of deal. Just finding the right angle.
Neutral jump in the corner on defense for when they're trying to bait out your OD amnesia.
To be honest,
air throw back in the corner.
I should do that more. That's very smart. Ooh. Sneaks in the overhead.
Yeah, you get emotional damage when JP back throws you in the corner after you try and bait OD amnesia. Like, it's a real psychological blow. Another empty jump from Joe Umerogan, but Kaaba doesn't buy it. Closes it out. 1-1. Going to a final game.
Yeah, he's trying to get Kaaba to make a move in those ranges, but I mean, that's the tension with Guile, right?
Yeah.
Does he go for a boom or a move here or not? Like, you're kind of always trying to play that bait game every moment in neutral. Like, it's constant micro guesses.
Yeah. The thing with Kaaba is he's very, very happy just playing buttonsy Guile. Like, I think more than any of the Guiles that I can remember, like, he's really happy to just play buttonsy Guile and just leave the Sonic Booms at home.
And Guile's buttons are really good. I mean, they're a little weak to DI maybe, but I don't think that's even that detrimental in his game plan because his projectile game smokes DIs anyway, so people are put off from that.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow,
I was just
stuffed the medium kick.
I was just about to say how little this burnout matters, but now it matters a lot. It suddenly matters a lot that he's in burnout in this situation. But Joe puts himself in burnout, but is he gonna get chipped?
Yes. He was pumping that.
He could have had level 1 in return. That was a strange interaction. The screen freeze on Luke's level 2 is so quick. I wouldn't be surprised if Kaaba was just, like, you know, thrown off by it. I wonder if Guile could have level 1 in return. I see you scrambling for the phone right now. We're looking up the invincibility frames.
Yes, sir.
We're getting the data, chat. Meanwhile,
right. I don't like saying things that are wrong.
Joe getting the corner.
Yeah, it's got 8 frames of invincibility, and Luke's only 7 frames of invincibility, so it would have definitely won.
I think it's just a really quick screen flash. It's one of the fastest screen flashes in the game. Meaty DI again from Joe. He kind of got the first round with that same interaction, and he closes out this round. That pace, that's the pace you're searching for. I think Mena really, you know, showed the roadmap for that speed of play with Luke, and I think a lot of the other Lukes are catching up. Just constantly mixing the offensive options, getting the throws, mixing the neutral jump, the frame traps, meaty DI. If you keep rotating those options, something is going to land. And you're incentivized to do that. I think in this game, it's definitely much more of a act first, right? You definitely 100%. Don't wait and react because there's too much to react. You're not going to react to everything. And Joe shows that power rate.
I mean, like, he's not as obviously set up to overload your mental stack as like a Ken is, who's like very similar in the loadout, but he's got a lot of options that he can throw at you that are really, really solid, and the payoff on the damage is enormous for Luke. So I think there's definitely a lot to be said for that real proactive style rather than the keep away, sandblaster, drive rushing in, trying to catch you unawares. Like, I think a constant slow progression and pressure there and trying to catch people out with multiple options that are all very strong. Like, I think the difference between Luke and Ken is, like, a lot of Ken's options aren't that solid, but there's too many of them to cycle through. Whereas Luke's, like, his jump fierce is better.
That's what I was going to bring up. I was wondering what you think. Is Luke's jump fierce better than Ken's? Like, because that's the one option
like,
I would
literally
say
on hitbox, hurtbox.
Right, that's the one option I would say that Luke has stronger in the corner is the neutral jump option, which is terrifying. I think Luke's neutral jump option, like, even if you don't tech a throw, you are likely to be stuffed on your anti-air for just being flustered and reacting a little bit late and then getting a full combo conversion, or just blocking it and he gets another turn for the same offensive sequence. So yeah, I do agree that Ken has overall more tools to overload you, but I think that one tool, like, keeps Luke in that top tier corner pressure range, right? He's just so many strong options, and
he's got suppressor, which is such a fantastic way of still maintaining, because he can drive rush behind it if he doesn't see you throw and maintain pressure that way as well. Obviously that's like 3 bars, but he has that there, and like his supers are just all incredibly good as well. Yeah, I really like Luke. I think kind of seeing people drift off of him, it was quite surprising to me, because I think he's a very complete character as well. But
who's drifting off of him?
I'm not seeing like as much. The Japanese players are kind of all floating back over to Ken and JP more so than the Lukes. I mean, Bonchan's still there holding it down. I'm not sure about North America. I wouldn't want to comment there that I can think of off the top of my head. Like, we just saw Noah put in a fantastic performance with him as well. Mena's never let him out of his...
NL just qualified for Capcom Cup with his Luke as well.
Yep. So. He has been cycling in the Cami, but he did most of the work with the Luke in that tournament. So yes.
What's up,
Oh,
new?
it's the voice of God. Okay.
Ooh.
Wow. Yeah, you have to stream that.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. He
maybe
said for the content, I
JP
need
might
that.
have to fall here. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Sounds good. Catch you guys in 5 chat.
Can you hear Do? Let us know. Do, you're muted.
The matches have been great. Unfortunately, I think we're not getting the dream matchup we were looking forward to.
No, the dream is dead.
Or maybe the dream is alive for all the JP fanatics out there. Let's go, Masoma. Let's go. More JP.
Even Punk could not overcome the menace.
Can you guys hear me now?
Can you hear Do now? Yes! I can hear
What's
you.
up, guys? Yeah, the matches have been pretty crazy.
They've been
Shout out to
amazing.
Punk for the huge rage. We missed on the dream matchup, man. But good job to Masoma using JP. You know, good job, good job.
I know you respect JP highly, Do.
But yeah, before we get started, I have one question, Logan. You know, you're from EU, and then
Yes.
our guy Lex went over there, who's from America, and decimated all your players. I'm just curious how you feel about that.
He didn't win a single tournament, I don't think.
Yeah,
whilst
I
he was here.
understand, but he beat a lot of the favorites that allowed a Ryu player to win, with all due respect.
He didn't win a single tournament whilst he was here. Just want to say that again.
No, he definitely won a tournament. We can pull the receipts. He has won a
Did he?
tournament. Yeah, he has. He beat Hurricane and the 4 Phils to win the tournament. But anyway, that's the
Which
fact.
tournament was that?
I think he's amazing. But yeah, we're gonna go back to the match. We're gonna have Naji versus Noah. So I'm gonna kick it back to you guys and then maybe
USA. USA. Everybody in the chat. That's what we're waiting for here. That is true, though. That is true. Ryu has been winning the biggest events in the UK.
Ending Walker has been winning.
No, we
for
all know
a year.
in Street Fighter 6 that players don't win anything. It's only characters. Everybody knows this. That's what all my YouTube and Twitter comments tell me every single day.
That's right. And they know best.
Of course.
Who are we to argue with the hive mind, of course?
So these are the guys who actually caused this to happen. So we were supposed to have Punk and Chris T in this match right here, but Noah made the upset over Punk. We saw that match on stream, and Naji actually beat Chris T 2-1. So Naji, we haven't seen on stream yet. He's been doing a lot of work. I mean, he's been an NLBC regular for Street Fighter 5 for a while, so he played jury back then as well, and just been consistently improving. And he had a really great run at EVO. He's been making top 8 at all these TNS tournaments, all these big weeklies. So he's been a constant threat this entire time. So it's still an upset, I would say, for Naji to beat Chris T, but kind of like Noah, it's like he's.
I'd say so.
Right?
You know, Chris T is viewed as one of the top Street Fighter 6 players in NA
Absolutely.
at the moment. And no disrespect to Naji, but I definitely don't know much about him at all.
Right.
You said he got
He's had these kind of
33rd at EVO?
Yes, and he's also, I think he's had wins
Fantastic.
over, he might have had wins over Punk in other online brackets, and I think iDom as well. So he's been doing these kind of things for the entirety of Street Fighter 6's lifespan, is what I would say. He hasn't had the consistency as a Chris T or as a Punk, right? But he's a little bit like Noah, I would say, who's been getting these placements and getting these wins here and there. So this is not like out of left field to see. Definitely an upset, but not totally unexpected. So two super strong players. I think Naji's also on the younger side as well, so it should be a good match.
It's really an exciting time when like 25-year-olds are old men in fighting games.
Right? They used to be, in the lower half.
Yeah. But we're still here. We're still here with 40-year-olds throwing hands as well. Fantastic.
Absolutely.
But none of them are here at the moment. Here we go. Crouching medium punch into the drive rush cancel. I love that that's a frame kill when you drop the combo as well.
It took me about like 3 weeks to realize that that was kind of an Oki setup. It leads to meaty throw for Luke after. I was like, what is going on here? Are we all bad? And then it turns out it was just me bad. Buffer to level 1.
Oh, there you go.
Exactly what I mentioned.
There
Even
you go.
when you don't fall for the bait and tech the throw, the jump fierce is such a fast falling normal with such a huge hitbox. You're likely to be late on your anti-air or just get stuck if you don't choose a DP off. Number 1 conversion. Approach. Man. Jury is good. Remember when people in Street Fighter 5 would say that her fireball was bad? I feel like that kind of a design is always good. Jury had other problems in Street Fighter 5 early on before she got buffed over and over, but that concept of slow moving fireball on the ground that goes under other projectiles you can approach behind, it will always be strong. Counter hit, punish counter confirmed from Noah there. In burnout, but that's a buff for Noah. We all know it by this point.
Yeah, that's when the game really starts.
Dangerous. Why did you do that? What's the punish here? Parry? Parry the last hit? No? Oh, he's ready. You're dead.
Oh, okay.
You're dead.
A reset and don't spend any balls. Lovely.
Save that.
Take them into the next game. Yeah.
Oh, I have to imagine that was an execution error for Naji. You know, this game, a lot of people talk about the input interpreter. It's very common for certain people and certain characters, I should say, to have input overlap where you might get a level 1 on accident. I know Marissa is really bad for that because DP versus level 1, your DPs are Superman punch. I don't know if that's a common thing for Jury, though, but I'd have to imagine he just messed up. Burnout immediately. I've seen Noah go into burnout in 5 seconds. Like, him going to burnout this early in the round is so common for him, and it works to his favor.
There was an Angry Bird clip where I literally saw him going to burnout in 3 seconds against the JP.
I mean, when you do it that early, when you have such a life lead, like, you can't die if they stun you. It almost makes sense. Like, you're going to get back to full meter quicker in a weird way.
Let me just use it now.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like spending level 3 at the start of the game, starting a round, yeah?
Right. If you go into burnout at this point, like, you can die. But if you go into burnout when you have 95% health, does it matter that much?
Not really, I don't think so.
Yeah. Especially with characters with Luke with a half-screen laser beam level 1. In chip range, though, level 2 does not work out. Good bait from Naji there. Oh.
The stare down.
One of these hitboxes will connect, and I will drive rush behind it. Gets the overhead. Meaty DI.
Impossible to react to. Proven scientifically. Doesn't matter how young you are.
Oh,
the bait again.
I was just about to say you're dead unless he drops. And the drops keep coming. Like I said, this burnout, yeah, that burnout does not matter. Like, you get no advantage in neutral in that situation. How are you going to actually close the gap without getting clipped and dying?
Are you used to perfects in this game, like 20 seconds in, and they block loads? Like, are you used to that? Have you accepted? Has your brain accepted that?
I have both afflicted and suffered from so many more double perfects in this game than the entirety of Street Fighter 5 and Street Fighter 4 combined.
Street Fighter 4?
Yeah, combine them all because there's no chip damage in this game, right? So just like after playing Street Fighter for how many decades, 30 years at this point.
Our best player in the UK was a Seth player, so he had a lot of perfects.
That is true. That is true. The Vortex was hit a little different back in those days. The lock,
yeah,
2 perfectly timed.
Ooh,
risk the EXDP out. Yeah, the dream sequence there for Jury is to have it slightly spaced out so that they're not ready to react in super between, but same frame and same window with block stun for the lock, with the wall splat. Yeah, double perfects. This game is fast and perfects happen. Fuzzy jump medium.
Answer. Ooh, you're going back to the corner.
Immediately
more damage than that, but doesn't matter.
I guess the burnout for Noah there was worth just the corner carry, right? Like, he's not getting any damage from it, just because the corner carry.
Do you think he calculated that, or do you think he just spent it?
I think he calculated that.
Okay, I'll let you off.
Either way, he has put himself in burnout so often, he's learned to live with his decisions. Calculated or not, he knows how to handle that position.
All right.
Man, I
got the
really
level
need
2
have
to
my
defend
level
himself. Oh, doesn't matter. He's got the driving back. Lovely.
1. We talked about Mena DI being so effective, but against everyone besides Noah. I think he has been the best player I've ever played at countering DIs. But with level 1 and his own counter DI, I abandoned the strategy against him. Too ready. Level 3? No, he wants to be at a meter disadvantage. He wants to be in that burnout.
Drive reversal.
Yeah, so you cannot do DI against this. That will react to the DI with the level 3 cancel. That's why he kept refusing the fully charged heavy enough plus frames, which finds the conversion to level 3 right now. Mena DI?
Nice walk back DP.
Again,
Always using the light as well.
flips him low. Textbook from Noah, really. Naji.
Yeah, really good marshalling of the corner.
Yeah.
Just walking back, forcing Naji to do something to try and break out. No answer there. And yeah.
His corner control is really good. He does have strong corner offense, but I also find that Noah likes to also just give people space on wake up. There's something to be said for pressing the advantage at that moment, and also something to be said for sitting in a range where you can cage the opponent, right? Those knockdowns, he sensed the antsiness from Naji to escape the corner, just backs up, puts yourself at a range where if they actually hold up forward, your anti-air DP is not going to be an autocorrect that lets them get out of the corner and run away, right? So if you are, you're not really too sure what they're going to do on wake up, but you feel like they're trying to do anything to get out of the situation, just giving them the space and then controlling it, caging them is oftentimes more effective. But you also have to know when to turn it up, because I think you also need to kill them when you have your chance as well.
Absolutely. Like you said, being proactive and actually, being in charge of setting the pace is so important in this game. But with things like perfect parry and, options like we saw with the fuzzy medium into dive kick, a lot of characters have those as well. Pushing too much or pushing a correct amount, actually pushing a fair amount, there's always a huge risk of that game being turned around and just through the correct read on defense, which makes it so volatile, right?
Yes, but I think that's also a good thing, right? That's one thing I think that this game got right, is that I think everyone's defense is very proactive in this game, but there's always options. Yeah. You could have potentially have always perfect parried the meaty, right? You could have teched the throw. You could have done the jump. You could have done this. There's a lot of options, which makes the game very dynamic.
It's funny how in the same conversations, I'll hear people complain about checkmate situations in Burnout with Drive Impact, but also complain about like the variance and the risk of being offensive because of the risk of perfect parry, and those options that can beat throws as well and turn things around, the side switch. And the fact that they both is fantastic. I love it because it's so entertaining. And I think that, if this game was as strict as Street Fighter 4, which until we got to, I guess, Ultra, but for 5 years it was just so, this is what you get to do. I knock you down, and if I know how to, Akuma did it in vanilla, of course, and everyone else followed with unblockables. Yeah, Vortex gaming is not it's not really skill based, is it? It's how many hours can I spend in training mode to make sure I OS,
which is also a skill. I mean,
it is, but it's not as entertaining a skill, is it?
Sure. I'm a nerd, so I mean, I respect other people.
Do you know what? To me,
each other.
To me, that's like a pianist who is a concert pianist who's playing other people's music compared to a composer.
Fair enough. Or like a jazz musician.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly. I think Mena, as you see on the screen here, he is definitely a jazz.
He's playing that jazz
for sure. The way he reads, he feeds off the opponent. He reads what they're trying to do. iDom too. iDom's a bit more mechanical, I think, in his approach. But these two titans. I mean, in Street Fighter 5 game, it was all about iDom and Mena. These two were going at it in the final twilight years of Street Fighter 5. iDom hasn't found the same success yet. I also really wish he would pick up a wrist or something. I really wish, but he's sticking it out. He's had, I think, a couple of wins in online brackets over Mena. I don't think they played as much recently. It was more in the early first couple months when everyone's heavily grinding for Evo. But Mena looking sharp as ever. Mauling iDom. Take a breather, man. I want to see a real set.
I just think playing this game without any kind of reversal is so hard. It's so hard.
Oh, check the drive rush. Yes. That's why iDom has to do that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
He is hyper focused. It's weird to say because you think banana crap or whatever, unga bunga. No, he's actually like so hyper focused on playing reactionary footsies to avoid being drive rushed into a situation where he then has to play defense. And that's what he talks about the most. He's like, man, I have to play such a difficult footsies game like this. But he's gotten so good at it. He's gotten so good at checking these drive rushes. But it's such a difficult thing to do because variable timing, variable distance, variable time when they release from the parry, variable buttons. It's
nice with punish.
So much variability, but iDom making it happen right now. Level 4 as well.
Yeah, it's a big win for him going into this second round. 4 medals up already, so every time gets in at plus frames, it's a huge guess. No.
Like the hardest thing here right now for Mena is to not be tilted by the fact that he has 4 medals and he's up around. That is the most difficult part about fighting Mena when he wins that first round in a medal way.
Yeah, Mena's so good at not being tilted though.
That's his X factor. His X factor is the mental game. He's the strongest. He has the strongest mentality in all of Street Fighter.
3 in a row.
I mean, what else is he going to do there to press the advantage? I don't know. He doesn't have enough health to risk having his poke stuffed or whip punished.
Yeah,
I kind of get it. Yeah, but Mena survived that round. Didn't give iDom that extra medal. They didn't let iDom get anything started.
And I think this is the range that Mena wants to be in as much as possible, right? That standing medium punch range, that medium kick range.
Her pokes are good. They're definitely very good. All that, like, she converted that, and he's doing this only for the drive meter, right? He's going to be in burnout, which is a great position. But yeah, she just kind of tickles you with these pokes, but they are good, cover a great space, and allow her to set up command grab mix-up. You are eating this? Yes, he went for the DI.
It doesn't matter, right? Because if she drive rushes behind it, she can't. I don't think she can stop, right? It's guaranteed.
Yeah, I was thinking. Well, yeah, it depends on the frame timing. Oh my goodness, this is huge. He's going to recover from burnout. Is this checkmate? Almost. I think this is checkmate. Oh my goodness, amazing awareness. Once he got that side swap and the meter advantage regained, iDom had no resources whatsoever. He just had to set up the right string.
Yeah.
And that's not, honestly, that's great awareness because a lot of players in that situation would mess up, to be quite honest. They'd either go for a string that on hits will not reset and will combo into the DI, or they'll go for a string that on block will be a lock from a drive rush cancel.
Yeah.
So that awareness to actually know how to reset the combo and get the guaranteed DI and stun, not everyone has that. Even I'm thinking in my head right now, what would I have done in that situation? I don't have that ironed out, like, as a set in stone. Oh yeah, in the situation where I get my drive meter back, it'll like confirm. How do I drive rush into a combo and get the guaranteed stun, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of situations that change drastically based on what those 6 bars are saying.
Right.
And having something locked into your muscle memory that you can access on demand in those situations. Again, the thing I love about this game is it really, really rewards work. You know, really thoughtful, considered work. I really think it pays off. You see the players that have done the studying. You see the players that have really researched these situations, whether it's on their offense or defensively as well, and what their answers are. And this game's got so much more to give because of the mechanics that you have access to in this game. There's always inventive answers, whether it's on offense, on defense, and I do love those checkmate situations that you know you're always impressed. You know, we saw Fluxwave do it earlier as well, and he pointed out, like, you know, you would have been thinking about what mix up to go for next, whereas he was like, oh cool, nice, I've got back roundhouse into frame
flow chart. that's about developing the flowchart. But the flowchart in this game, there's a lot more entries on that graph.
Bro,
the branching paths are so much more numerous because of the drive system, and then all the frame data modifications from the punish counters, counter hit. What if they get hit by this versus blocking it? Like, sometimes getting hit is better than blocking certain situations, especially if you're in burnout. So, like, there's a lot to map out in this game. So just seeing someone with a really refined flowchart is a compliment, right? You know, people always use flowchart as an insult when it's a bad flowchart, but a really high level flowchart in this game takes a lot of understanding of the mechanics, and yeah, really impressive to see that. Mena is ahead of the game for sure. Speaking of Zafrino, I want to give a shout out. We're watching Zafrino versus Ajax Fidelity coming up here. Zafrino actually put Nephew into losers on this run. This is to get into top 12 winners. Is this for top 8 winners?
Yeah, this is top 8, yeah.
Yeah, so Zafrino versus Ajax Fidelity. Ajax Fidelity took out Brian D and Shine to make it to this position. Ajax Fidelity kind of burst onto the scene in the final year of Street Fighter V with his head, and he played a really pivotal role in the Red Rooster team on Street Fighter League and had a lot of big wins. He was pretty much the MVP
without
that
a doubt.
season for the
Especially
team.
the first half of the season. I don't think he lost a single game in the first half of that season run, so really reliable there.
He also won the first World Warrior event for his region over Crossover, I believe, in the grand final, so he's been doing a lot of work in Puerto Rico, you know, one of the newer players coming out of that region to be extremely dominant. Super nice guy.
Nice hard read on that. Called out the slide. I really like Feng Shui as well. You don't see it used a huge amount, but it's another layer to her offense, and I think it's incredibly strong. Not sure about using it that early on, but I really like it as a end of round situation.
Right. Yeah, Ajax Fidelity definitely is one of the juries that likes to go for it pretty often. It gives her so much. Like, when do you decide to drive reversal versus check? You know, you can be caught in the mix where you're unsure when you should even move, and especially if you're in burnout, you have about 50 fuzzy high lows, triple overheads. It gets very gnarly. But Zaf finds it confirmed to level 3. Tri-meter situations looking dire. It's nice.
Yeah, tried to dive kick to throw the timing off, but he was super early with that anti-air.
Jury drive rush. Like, that's one of those situations. Is it even worth attempting to check, right? It's like, that is a tough decision to make in that moment.
Yeah, both of her medium buttons off drive rush are so strong. And
that's
she gets that the mix up with the medium kick as well when she drive rushes from far away.
That was an amazing level 2 activation. Oh, looking for the burnout, but yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed at that point. Level 1 is not invincible. He'd have to perfect parry on wake up to avoid that burnout. That was almost a checkmate. Like Zafrino's only chance to survive in that situation was to land perfect parry, which would have been, clutch. He would have gotten perfect parry to back throw to survive, but that was great for Ajax Fidelity to recognize that and just push the situation. You perfect parry right now, or you check your guaranteed loss.
When you have tools or situations that you can engineer that ask these really difficult questions, that's what you want to be doing in this game. It's all about forcing your opponent to continually have to react and cycle through and spend all of their brain power on responding to what you're doing rather than them putting you in that situation, making you think about things.
Yeah, that was super clutch from Ajax. But would have been amazing to see a perfect parry in response. Like, even if you know that's coming, it's like it's 2-frame window, not easy even on a set wake up timing. So Ajax takes that one back in the corner already. Big jump. Ajax is making all the right reads right now.
That's about to be it. Got the stock to let go. Bang! Yeah, that does chunks, like an extra 200 on the end of that. All right, set point here for Ajax.
Checks one drive rush, just needs to check about 30 more of those and flop around. The fuzzy mid-screen.
How dare you try and throw?
Normally mid-screen is like, yeah, I'll take a throw, go ahead. To fuzzy out mid-screen is a little cheeky. That's kind of rude. It's like, you're supposed to take the guaranteed damage here.
Again, you didn't read the script today.
Right. That is the opposite of what the book says. Zaf is trying to vary his fireball timings to kind of bait out a parry whiff. little tough with Dawson's slow-moving projectiles, but it's meter neutral, so you know he's at least maintaining that like almost burnout position. And this is good for Zaf. Well, I don't know about it.
No, if he drops the combo, it isn't. He's in the corner now as well, but wakes up with a button.
Light confirms super is required to play Dawson. Like if you cannot do light confirms to any of his supers, you will not be able to survive playing this character. So critical for his combo conversion to get any meaningful damage. Just clipped with the low last second. The lows in this game, they just have a few more pixels of range than you ever expect. There's been so many times where I swear I'm out of range, but you know, Street Fighter 6, they juiced up the low forwards in this game compared to Street Fighter 5. I think Zaf was probably thinking he walked out of range from that and could whiff punish successfully, but no, you're still in range. And goes down to losers bracket to Ajax Fidelity.
All right, let's take a look at these brackets again. So I think we're starting to propagate into top 8 already. We still got Lex versus Joe Umerogan to play on one side.
Yep, it's coming up now.
In Pool B1.
Yeah, so we have Noah versus Ajax on winner's side. This is for also top 8. Joe versus Lex. And then Mena. Mena is also in top 8 winners, waiting. And then loser side.
So Lex in the US taking out a bunch of your top players on that, right?
Yes, because
interesting situation.
Yeah. Turns out if we send a good US player to the UK, they wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you know? Good players are good. Who would have thunk? So Joe, he put Kaaba into losers, right? So trying to take down the Guile army.
Yeah, fantastic play. So I wonder how that's going to work in his favor. You know, he has the template definitely to beat one of the best Guiles in the world right now. Lex, I think, definitely has a very different play style to Kaaba, though. So certainly not going to be the same blueprint that's going to get the win for him here. But
right, and Lex is not as frequent of tournament he doesn't enter these tournaments as often. Like I haven't seen him play in too many North American brackets. Like the first time I saw him in Street Fighter 6 was in the UK World Warrior.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been entering tournaments in the UK for like the last 2 months. So,
right. Yeah, that caught me off guard. So I think there's also going to be some playstyle unfamiliarity, right? Kaaba, if you've been playing like at Joe's level since Street Fighter 6 is released and he enters so many tournaments, you played against Kaaba. Like you at least are familiar with him. You've seen him while waiting for your matches. You have some idea of how he's going to play, even if that helps you or not is still up for debate, right? But at least you have some data going into it. Lex is going to be. I mean, he's more UK than USA right now for Street Fighter 6. So the players here are kind of feeling his wrath for the first time as well.
Getting the win against Chris CCH and Terrence.
Big wins.
Yeah. Let's see if he can book a place in top 8 winners side. If he can overcome Joe Umerogan. If he can overcome the battle with getting in the lobby, which he's just done. He's just arrived.
Always the hardest part about this.
I noticed how he doesn't have a country flag either on his CFN profile.
I'm still very confused about the UK World Warrior thing. Is he going back to the UK? Is he? What's going on here?
I'm not sure.
I think by technicality he's locked out of any other World Warrior program.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's kind of how it works. Like you can enter whichever one, but then that's where you're committed to.
But that's it, yeah.
Right. The easiest way to kind of
so Zhen can't play in the Chinese. Super secret behind closed doors.
He can't go for the free win in China, right? He has to go to Canada instead. Of course.
All right then. Obviously, lots of matches going on in losers side as well. Chris CCA eliminating Crossover. Terrence eliminated Kaaba as well. That's a huge result for him. The Chun-Li Guile matchup, definitely not a straightforward one. Shout out to Terrence, one of my favorite.
Terrence has been low-key one of the best in the US for a long time. He's low-key both in kind of his personality and kind of his results, right? He's kind of slowly into those big ranking positions in the regional rankings for a long time when they had that in Street Fighter 5, and it's good to see him back in Street Fighter 6 rocking Chun-Li and doing work again.
That's right. Shout out to Lex, who literally hasn't been online. 0 LP, new challenger rank.
Live rush Build some space. The big buttons. Oh!
Jump. We saw him do that against Kaaba a lot, actually.
Right.
The empty jump, and that's
If
literally
you
what
can-
it's for.
Yeah, if you can snipe out that they don't have charge in that position, then there's definitely a range where Crouch Fierce as the default anti-air option will whiff. Guile can still do, is it back
Medium kick?
like the donkey kick
Yeah,
that
just
goes
normal
above his
medium
head.
kick, yeah.
So, but it splits their mind. Like Guile can cover these angles, but forces them to think of more options, especially when they don't have charge and the damage is so low and they don't get an air reset.
Especially with those 2 jump-ins that Luke's got, because they're ridiculously
Right
great
there,
priority.
The risk reward is in your favor if you can remove Guile's charge.
Yeah, I think definitely standing inside that range where the threat of the jump is always there. Ooh, again we
saw
see
that.
him hit that level 3.
We saw it against Chris CCH. It seems to be something he's looking for. That's crucial. That burnout right there, perfect play from Lex. That was such a smart level 3. But that
These
said,
Luke
Joe
players don't
Umerogan,
care about being burnt out.
They don't, and he's 1 hit away. But the drive rush overhead, not enough.
Oh, he whiffed on the drive impact.
What did Joe? I think went for level 1, or what did he? I think that was an execution error on a super, right? Why would he whiff the light punch upper, or whatever that move is called, the knuckle?
The flash knuckle,
I think he might have whiffed a super. I'm not sure what the input overlap is, but he survives the interaction until he eats the boom. Yeah, I think Joe might have closed that out. I think he was attempting a super, but Lex clutches out the round instead. Right, rush. Yep. Burns the 3 bars to get a guaranteed strike throw mix. Flash kick through the heavy knuckle.
An overlap, by the way. They're both quarter circle forwards and punch.
For level 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it was an attempt at level 1. That's what I'm pretty confident that's what he was trying to go for.
Educated guess.
Right.
Nice spacing on that medium.
Ooh,
but he doesn't get the target combo.
That does whiff occasionally. It's just pretty rare to see. I think he can get a regular link after the punish counter version of that medium. Ooh, doesn't hit confirm. He could have got a gnarly level 3 cancel there, but he gets the knockdown and gets in. Ooh, dancing in his grill. Lex, when you see someone dancing and you don't react with tech, you react with jab, that is discipline. That is the thing to do.
No.
Too slow. Oh, man. That level 3 goes about full screen. It shocked me the first time I saw it, but it just keeps going and going and going. It's just very slow, but it is an option against certain projectiles, just not a sonic boom. As a JP player, your projectiles go full screen, but they do have recovery. Normally, you just can't get through them. So I've been hit by that from people like Noah. Like 3/4 screen away, Luke is just crawling towards me, and it still hits me.
Because there's so much recovery, yeah.
Right. I
Wow,
was like, wait a minute.
Jump in.
I don't know. You can do that. Crosscut.
Nice
every time.
walk on the light.
But you'll take that. Like getting crosscut in this game to get out of the corner is worth the tax to pay. But that back throw was definitely key for Joe.
Yeah. I mean, that's another big difference between Luke and Ken. The cross cut into a level 3.
Finds level 2 conversion.
Last hit into the level 2.
Optimize.
Perfectly calculated.
Snipes out the throw attempt.
Looking to level it up. He gets the throw bait, and it's a punish counter.
Back dash to avoid the
works
throw.
again.
Yep. Definitely an option. Don't think you have no options. You got to represent them, even in bad situations like when you're doing throw loops.
Lex pressing buttons after blocking a jump fierce. No respect for these frames.
Sometimes you're too plus to even know your own frame trap timing. It's definitely one of those situations.
Damn. Range on the flash kick always catches me off guard.
Spending it all. He's not going to get a kill, though. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't know. That burnout, I feel like made him feel like he had to kind of press the advantage as much as he could.
Yeah, I feel like that second drive rush didn't really add much to the combo either. The corner carry wasn't really that much more. Damage definitely wasn't.
If his name was Noah, I would have said it was a good decision. But traditionally, yeah, for everyone else, that was not a good use of the drive meter. I think that set him up for a bad situation, and Lex took full advantage of it. Nice. Classic drive rush. Level 3. Is it in time?
No,
Too slow
again.
Oh, it's just too fast, the recovery. The reaction was like frame perfect, but it's just not the move you can use the level 3 versus. That's one of those things where you go, well, yep, can't use this tool. Take it off the plate.
Lex books his place in top 8. I think that's the full, top 12 because we're doing 2 out.
That is top 8 winner side, so he will be playing up against Mena in top 8 winner side.
A couple of updates as well in losers. JB eliminated Shine 2-0, and Masoma took that personally, by the way. He has eliminated Chris T as well as Punk. So Masoma books a spot.
Soma's on a tear.
Losers.
In case people don't know, Masoma is like, I think he got 2nd place at Evo multiple times. He's an anime god. I think people, this is me, my soapbox to downplay JP once again. But Masoma has been winning in every anime game forever. He's like the new Sonic Fox to a degree, but he plays games like Melty Blood and other anime games, DNF Duel, and he's always gotten like top whatever. So it makes sense for him to come to Street Fighter 6 and play the most anime character in the game and start doing work. So he it's in his blood to use teleports and things that aren't traditionally Street Fighter. So it's not surprising to me that he finds JP and starts taking out people of this caliber, because he's just fighting game top player, just in a different genre for the most part. Oh, but sadly, actually eliminated him.
I was waiting for you to finish that entire monologue and then reveal that, yes, iDom had eliminated him 2-1.
Street Fighter wins in the end.
Yes.
A good run from Masoma.
Absolutely. So we're going to go into our next match, which is in losers side for top 12. So it's going to be Naji versus Chris CCH.
Stacked loser side.
You can find the bracket on Start GG. I'm pretty sure the bracket command is up and running, so check that out. Okay.
Chat's already making predictions. Chris CCH versus Mena Grand Finals. That's an option. It's a possibility. Naji's trying to change that timeline.
Yeah, Chris has got a long run to go on to make it to Grand Finals.
Wow.
Nope.
Not in time. That is the idea we discussed earlier about trying to EXTP the drive rushes, but Naji, hits the brakes. Last second blocks. Perfect parry. Oh, he's going for the drive meter. I think that's what he's choosing. Nice. I like that option. If Chris had tried to parry as well to, avoid the chip for the fireball, he would have ate up.
Would have hurt even more, yeah.
Yeah. Naji's definitely full throttle ahead, noticing the drive meter damage. Chris holding off.
Yeah, he's trying to react to that with heavy Tatsu. Very difficult to do. Definitely works.
Yeah, I've never seen that option, actually.
Yeah. Has to be.
Can it hit on a later frame, or does it have to hit on like one of the earlier frames up close?
You just have to be a little bit closer, and it'll just catch you on recovery.
Can't imagine he intended to just run into a poke there. Maybe something got crossing the wires. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, punish counter. See? Yep.
More options. All right, we're evolving.
So this is the big thing with Jury. Like when we were watching CEO, everyone was just letting her get away with fireball release, drive rush, fireball release, drive rush. But there's tons of recovery on that fireball release.
Yeah, definitely a character you have to lab to stop the basic flowchart. We talked about flowcharts. Jury, I think, out of the gate had the strongest flowchart because if you don't understand how to stop it from getting the fireball release, you are just holding an infinite number of turns.
It's just oppressive. The same with Guile early on as well, right? It was just, I'll put a boom down, drive rush behind it. Very straightforward, very effective until you find an answer. And it asks a lot of questions of the defender. It's very, very straightforward on offense.
That is more than plus in burnout right there.
Burnout. Yeah. Oh no, he didn't have the drive gauge.
Wait. Oh, he went. Oh, scramble finish there. Oh, I like the idea though. I mean, the only reason I would say that it's risky is because it's not final game, final round, right? If that was last round, I would for sure level 3. Chris could have potentially have not been doing anything and just level 3 in return, and you wasted your meter. But that was gonna chip, or Chris had to do nothing in that situation to survive that interaction. So good bet from Naji. Hands out.
Okay, nice.
That is a button, man. That can Fierce Punch. Whiff punishes, meaties, pressures. That is
Does exactly
button,
what it says on the tin.
Oh, shit. Clean little movement from Chris. Gets the back throw. 3 perfect 4 in a row. The community has...
Oh my god, that's going to combo as well. He got hit by it.
Wow, that covers both options. If you had gotten over the fireball with Dragon Lash, it would have countered as well. Ready for the DI is Naji, putting Chris CCH on notice. Chat was predicting a grand finals with Mena and Chris CCH. Wait a minute. Naji says, hold up.
Just a long run. A long road. There's some very good players in this bracket.
Long road in this set already, too. You would have to
wake up.
claw back
gets
from this
thrown.
match point.
Nice, picks him up with a juggle.
That is always shocking to me when that happens. It feels like it shouldn't, and then it does. That is bad news for Chris. That is really bad news. He went for the parry attempt. It didn't work out. Meaty-ish DI lands. This is so over. Okay. All right.
It's still
Gotta
over.
play with this, Naji. Oh my god.
Oh my god. The plate, the food, the dinner, it's all over the floor.
Is this the plot armor that chat had
Down his lap.
empowered on Chris CCH for him to make the comeback? I cannot believe this. Naji, this is what it's... Oh no, you're falling apart. You're falling apart. You keep it together. That was 3 huge chokes in a row. This is what great players are made of. Listen, we've all been in this situation before, but can you bounce back right now mentally? You're down in resources. If you can play your game that you played till this point, you can still survive, but Chris knows blood. Chris is an offensive powerhouse. Like, he understands when you're falling apart, and he knows how to take advantage.
He's a real shot. He smells the blood.
Oh my! Oh, you parried that. That was a great DI though. That was a really sneaky DI setup from Chris, but amazing awareness from Naji. Oh.
Nice little walk back.
Oh, excellent
Back his own as
backdash.
well.
You know, the parry would have been punish counter throw into burnout, but Chris takes it. Oh my god, this was Naji's game. This was his tournament set to win. Twice he had the stun, dropped it, tried to reset with the DI, dropped it again. I'm flabbergasted. I'm at a loss for words almost.
Red. Nice, he catches him grounded.
In this game, there's so many more recovery frames. I'm not sure the exact data compared to Street Fighter V, but it is much easier to land a punish counter on the recovery from a whiff jump in and get a full grounded punish.
2.
If it's only that 1 frame increase, it makes
a
world of
huge
difference.
difference, though. Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Timing a punish on a whiff jump in Street Fighter V was almost like a frame perfect endeavor. Like, it was very rare. But in this game, you see someone whiff a jump in, you are for sure getting a fat combo because people now have their optimized punish counter routes when they see you whiff. Chris represents that.
Even if they just mash throw when you land, like that punish counter throw hurts.
Right.
Nice walk up, go forward. No whiff punish though from Chris CCH. Respecting the drive rush.
DP? Ooh, sneaky jump. Yeah, Chris was sitting around buffering. And
he's
not
dedicating a lot of thought to this neutral grid on Naji for identifying that.
Right. There's a lot to look for from Jury. The drive rush, you're looking for that from the full screen, but Naji not looking for the jump fierce from Ken. Gets the meterless side swap, cashes out with the level 2 there. Corner carry. Meaty!
Oh my god, pieces in up.
You are
Backs
one
off.
DI, you are one conversion, you are one anything away from being knocked out of this tournament. Good defense, but it's not enough. The plus frames get the pressure going for Chris. And he takes it from certain death. Naji clutching defeat the jaws of victory. I'm sorry to see it happen. Listen, I've been there. A lot of us have been there. That is a painful way to go out. But Chris, hats off to him, man. that's one of those moments though where Chris is of a caliber of player. Like if someone chokes like that against a Mena, an iDom, a Punk, it's almost foretold that it's over, right? You almost can tell in that moment, like this player isn't going to come back. To me,
they're
Chris,
mentally rubbing their hands together.
To me, Chris is of that caliber. Like he's been knocking on the door of that elite status for some time. You know, he's taking sets over these players here and there. He's really working his way into that position as a young competitor. And I think he has that tenacity, that offensive mindset, and that awareness of the opponent's mental state to know that when someone chokes like that against you, it is time to rev up that throttle, go all in, and make them crumble.
Well, it's going to be time to rev up that throttle for top 8 because we're going to take a little 5-minute break and come back for top 8, I believe. We have a winner's side, which looks like Noah the Prodigy versus Ajax Fidelity and Lex going up against Mena RD. Can Lex take down another big name? iDom and Terrence are already there in loser's side, and I think we'll find out whether Joe Umerogan or JB will join to face iDom, as we already know that Chris CCH will be facing Terrence. That will be your top 8. We'll be back after this 5-minute break here on the Rebels. Shout out to Shopify Rebellion and of course Nuckledu for putting this on. I hope you've been enjoying the action. Myself and Brian F have been having a great damn time. Some incredible matches, many more to come in this top 8 on the other side of this short break.
All right, see you, chat.